Hi everyone, welcome back to KG Graves. In 2013 we visited the Jim Reeves Memorial Park in Carthage, Texas, USA to visit the grave of Jim Reeves, the country and western singer. The strange thing about it was 49 years to the day that he passed when we visited. More information coming up about Jim shortly, but as usual, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it's absolutely free, and hit that notification bell for more video content like this. Also at the end of the video I've included some video footage and photographs of the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame and an excerpt of the bits from Jim Reeves himself. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.
I love you because you understand every single thing I try to do. You're always there to lend a helping hand, dear. I love you most of all because you're you.
James Travis Reeves was born on the 20th of August 1923 in Galloway, Texas. He was an American country and popular music singer and songwriter. He was known as Gentleman Jim. He was born at home in Galloway, Texas, a small rural community near Carthage, and was the youngest of 8 children. He was known as Travis during his childhood years. Jim took up baseball, playing in semi-professional leagues before contracting with St. Louis Cardinals in 1944 as a right-handed pitcher. He played for the minor leagues for 3 years before severing his sciatic nerve while pitching, which ended his athletic career. His initial efforts to pursue a baseball career were sporadic, possibly due to the uncertainty as to whether he would be drafted into the military as World War II enveloped the United States. On the 9th of March 1943, he reported to the Army Induction Center in Tyler, Texas for his preliminary physical examination. However, he failed the exam, probably due to heart irregularity, and on the 4th of August 1943, an official letter declared his 4F draft status. Jim began to work as a radio announcer and sang live between songs. During the late 1940s, he was contracted with a couple of small Texas-based recording companies, but was unsuccessful. At this point, he was influenced by early country and western swing artists, including Jimmy Rogers and Moon Mullican, as well as popular singers Bing Crosby, Eddie Arnold, and Frank Sinatra. In the late 1940s, he joined Moon Mullican's band, and as a solo artist he recorded Mullican-style songs including Each Beat of My Heart and My Heart's Like a Welcome Mat in the late 1940s and early 50s. During these years, Jim took a job as an announcer for KWKH-AM in Shreveport, Louisiana, then the home of the popular radio program Louisiana Hayride. Jim was a country music singer who had success early in his career. First with the song Mexican Joe in 1953 for Abbott Records. Other hits followed, such as I Love You, a duet with Ginny Wright, and Bimbo, which reached #1 on the US country charts in 1954. In addition to those early hits, he recorded many other songs for Faber Records and Abbott Records. In 1954, Abbott Records released a 45 single with Bimbo on the A-side, which hit #1 and featured Little Joe Hunt of the Arkansas Walk of Fame. Jim Reeves and Little Joe Hunt met at the Louisiana Hayride, which was Louisiana's equivalent of the Nashville's Grand Ole Opry. Jim went on to release his first album in November 1955, Jim Reeves Sings. He signed a 10-year recording contract with RCA Victor. Also in 1955, he joined the Grand Ole Opry and made his first appearance on ABC TV's Ozark Jubilee. He developed a new style of singing over the course of his career. He said, "One of these days I'm going to sing like I want to sing." So he decreased his volume and used the lower register of his singing voice, with his lips nearly touching the microphone. He used this new style in a 1957 recording, a demonstration song called Four Walls, which not only scored #1 on the country music charts, but also scored #11 on the popular music charts as well. Jim was instrumental in creating a new style of country music that used violins and lusher background arrangements that soon became known as the Nashville Sound. This new sound was able to cross genres, which made him even more popular as a recording artist. Between 1957 and 1958, Jim was the host of a radio show on the ABC network. This was also when he began shifting from cowboy outfits to sports jackets. He scored his greatest success with the Joe Allison composition, You'll Have to Go, which earned him a platinum record. Released during late 1959, it reached #1 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart on the 8th of February 1960, where it remained for 14 consecutive weeks. Many people refer to Jim as the singer with the velvet voice. In 1963, he released his 12 Songs of Christmas album, which had the well-known songs Christmas and An Old Christmas Card. His international popularity during the 1960s surpassed his popularity in the United States at times and helped to give country music a worldwide market for the first time. According to Billboard, Reeves' star shone equally bright overseas in the United Kingdom, India, Germany, and even South Africa. In 1963, he toured and starred in the South African film Kimberly Jim. In the film, he sang part of one of the songs in Afrikaans. The film was released in South Africa and in the US in 1965 after Jim's death. In 1963, he toured Britain and Ireland. He planned to record an album of popular Irish songs and had 3 #1 songs in Ireland during 1963 and 1964. These were Welcome to My World, I Love You Because, and I Won't Forget You. The last two are estimated to have sold 860,000 and 750,000 copies respectively in Britain alone, excluding Ireland. Jim had 11 songs in the Irish charts from 1962 to 1967. He recorded 2 Irish ballads, Danny Boy and Maureen. You'll Have to Go was his first popular song there and was at #1 and on the charts for months.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone. Let's pretend that we're together all alone. I'll tell the man to turn the jukebox way down low, and you can tell your friend there with you, he'll have to go.
Jim's last 2 recording sessions for RCA Victor were held on the 2nd of July 1964, producing the songs Make the World Go Away, Missing You, and Is It Really Over? When the session ended, with some time remaining on the schedule, he suggested that he should record one more song. He taped I Can't Stop Loving You in what was to be his final RCA recording. However, Jim made one later recording at the little studio in his home. In late July 1964, a few days before his death, he recorded I'm a Hit Again, using just an acoustic guitar as an accompaniment. That recording was never officially released by RCA Victor because it was a home recording and not by the label, but appeared during 2003 as part of a collection of previously unissued Jim Reeves songs released on the Voice Masters label. Jim married Mary White on the 3rd of September 1947. They never had any children, as he was believed to be sterile due to a complication from a mumps infection. On the 31st of July 1964, Jim, aged 40, and his business partner and manager, Dean Manuel, also the pianist of the backing group The Blue Boys, left Batesville, Arkansas, en route to Nashville in a single-engine Beechcraft Debonair aircraft N8972M with Jim at the controls. While flying over Brentwood, Tennessee, they encountered a violent thunderstorm. A subsequent investigation showed that the small airplane had become caught in the storm, and Jim suffered spatial disorientation. The singer's widow, Mary, probably unwittingly started the rumour that he was flying the airplane upside down and assumed he was increasing altitude to clear the storm. However, according to Larry Jordan, author of the 2011 biography Jim Reeves' His Untold Story, this scenario is refuted by eyewitnesses known to crash investigators who saw the plane overhead immediately before the mishap and confirmed that it was not upside down. He let his airspeed get too low and stalled the aircraft. Relying on his instincts more than his training, evidence suggests he applied full power and pulled back on the yoke before levelling his wings, a fatal but not uncommon mistake that included a stall spin from which he was too low to recover. He ran into the heavy rain at 4:51 p.m. and crashed only a minute later. When the wreckage was found some 42 hours later, the airplane's engine and nose were discovered buried in the ground due to the impact of the crash. The crash site was in a wooded area north-northeast of Brentwood, roughly at the junction of Baxter Lane and Franklin Pike Circle, just east of Interstate 65 and southwest of Nashville International Airport, where Jim planned to land. On the morning of the 2nd of August 1964, after an intense search by several parties, which included several personal friends including Ernest Tubb and Marty Robbins, the bodies of the singer and Dean Manuel were found in the wreckage of the aircraft. At 1 p.m, radio stations across the United States began to announce his death formally. Thousands of people travelled to pay their last respects at his funeral 2 days later. The coffin, draped in flowers from fans, was driven through the streets of Nashville and then to his final resting place near Carthage, Texas. Jim was elected posthumously to the Country Music Hall of Fame during 1967. In 1998 he was inducted into the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame in Carthage, Texas, where the Jim Reeves Memorial is located. The inscription on the memorial reads, "If I, a lowly singer, dry one tear, or soothe one humble human heart in pain, then my homely verse to God is dear, and not one stanza has been sung in vain." Jim's career continued to thrive with hit records on the Billboard charts throughout the next 2 decades. Jim's last song on the chart was The Image of Me in 1984. His widow, Mary, operated the Jim Reeves Museum in Nashville from the mid-1970s until 1996. On the 15th anniversary of his death, Mary told a country music magazine interviewer, "Jim Reeves, my husband, is gone. Jim Reeves, the artist, lives on." During 1966, his record, Distant Drums, hit #1 on the UK singles chart and remained there for 5 weeks, beating competition from the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigby, a double A-sided release, and the Small Faces song, All or Nothing. The song stayed in the UK chart for 25 weeks and took #1 on the US country music chart. It was named Song of the Year in the UK during 1966 by the BBC, and Jim became the first American artist to receive the accolade. The song, a tribute to Jim Reeves, was recorded by Larry Cunningham and the Mighty Avens. It reached #40 in the UK charts in December 1964 and was there for 11 weeks and sold 250,000 copies. In total in the UK charts, Jim had 26 singles in the top 75 between 1960 and 1972, and 31 albums between 1964 and 2009. In 1967, his dog Cheyenne was buried inside the concrete circle surrounding the grave of his former master. In just a few feet to one side and to the rear, in just about the same position Cheyenne would have assumed in following his master. There is also a Jim Reeves Drive at the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame in Carthage, Texas. Let's see where his grave is located. So there you have it, the grave of Jim Reeves, singer and songwriter. As usual, if you've liked watching the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, see you on the next one.